Hi there, and welcome to the Call to Cinema. But tonight we are looking at the Call to Comics. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Now, I'm not sure who's going to be here because this is sort of off the cuff. What I do have to do right here is actually, and I want to thank whoever hit the like button, is tweet this out so that if people want to check this out, they can do so. And I'll put it on Facebook as well. Now, once I get back to my regular thing, I'll be able to actually go and hopefully be able to simulcast on Facebook and on the call of and on our regular YouTube channel as well. That's what I'm working towards. But anyway, tonight is a very special night because it is the Call to Comics, and it's more than the Call to Comics because what happened is my better half went to Paris to see her sister and see some of her friends. Which was a pretty cool, pretty incredible thing. And I have to say, it's nice to have her back, but I'm really glad she got to go and see her friends there. It's she hadn't seen them in a long time, so she was very excited to see them and to catch up. And what she spent the weekend catching up and talking, and can't ask for better than that. Hey there, Chris. Welcome, man. So tonight I got a lot of cool stuff here because this is stuff I can't read until early February. Or actually, not before early February, because we're going to do like an early Christmas thing here. So what she did was she picked up some comic stuff for both of us because we're both geeks. And the other thing that we're into that we don't talk about on this channel very much is we got a couple games. So we'll look at those here as well. And I'll show them first because I know a lot of you guys probably aren't as interested or as into that stuff. But feel free to ask me anything. This is a very open night. So if there's any movie stuff you want to ask or any other thing, any other comic stuff, then you can definitely ask me. We'll be looking at some buys, things that, hey there, Razor. Hey there, River, that I think everybody needs to have. So first up is this one right here. And I know we watched a video on this game, but I can't remember it right now. So if anybody knows this game, let me know. But she picked up this one right here. The coolest one, by the way, is the last one. I'm just going to say it right now. I say it's the last one. This is the coolest one because it's the one that she picked up specifically for me. And once you see what it is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We also got The Mind, which is a really cool game. And if you haven't checked it out, we like a lot of the card games. One, they're easy to take out and play with people, and the other thing is they're easy to store, right? So we have a collection of board games, around like 50 or 60 board games coming from Canada, and we're huge board game fans. But this is one of the ones I'm excited about. So if you have never seen this game before, this is something I didn't think I was going to like by the name of it. So it says Mito right there, but the title of this is Cockroach Poker, and it's a very simple game. Basically, you have cards in your hands. Could be like a cockroach, a grasshopper, an ant, a spider, and just very cartoony looking. And you'll take your card. Everybody will have cards in their hands, and you'll tell somebody else. You'll say, it'll be face. You look at the card. You leave card, then you put the card back down on the table face down, and you'll say, like, this is a cockroach. Now, you could be telling the truth, and if they don't need it, then, if they need it, then they can pick it up and take it. But the thing is, they've got to take you at face value. So if you say this is a cockroach and you turn it up and this is an ant, they could be screwed. So it's a bluffing game. I'm a big into the bluffing game, social deduction, that type of thing. We also picked up Skull, which is a beautiful game by Asmodee. Asmodee does a lot of really good games. And here's the cool one before we get into the comic stuff, guys. Super cool one. My mom is actually here tonight. So hi, Mom. My favorite comic strip of all time, so this really fits in with comics, has a game. Though my better half at this point is going to have to actually translate it for me because it's in French. But it is Cyanide and Happiness's Dilemma Express. Will you make the right moral decision? Now, Cyanide and Happiness have done a few games, but a lot of those games have been like some of them have been kid friendly. But this is 14 plus, so this is not as kid friendly as the other Cyanide and Happiness games, and it's more along the lines of the stuff that you would see. As you can see, there's a train. Does he hit the old couple, or does he hit the little kid with the ice cream? Hey there, George. That decision is yours. And many other moral and morally scrupulous decisions. I love this comic strip. If you've never seen Cyanide Happiness, it's one of the most warped, like freaky comic strips out there. In a weird way, I'm going to say it's the spiritual successor to The Far Side. I'm still super. I wanted this cockroach like poker for so long. Now, the others. I'm going to share my better half stuff first, and because I want to leave my stuff for last because it's cooler. So I'm going to put my stuff down here. So there's a character, a French comic, and so if you know French comics, then you'll probably know the character. I'll make sure that I knew nothing about. I've never read in my life, but my better half grew up on this character. I grew up on like translations from like Tintin and Asterix and Obelix type stuff. But one of her favorites is this one right here, Is No Good. So Is No Good, don't even think about it, Kitty Cat, is a not the nicest guy. You're going to, if you've ever read an Asterix or Obelix comic, then you're going to really notice the start. I put a blanket there, and she like took the blanket down. There's like a bunch in here anyway. There's like a whole bunch of stories and stuff. We're not allowed to read any of these, by the way, until Christmas. Still this song. And getting one is no good. Hey there, I said welcome, man. Was not enough for my better half. No. She got 2 books of the Is No Good series. So the first, that one there was 62 to 78. This one here is 78 to 1989. Yeah, it's a long-running series. And even though this one seems like it would go over 62 to 69, they're different stories. And so that's 3 tomes of Is No Good. So once I learn how to read French, I'll be able to read those. But my better half is super excited, and I told her sister and her husband about the books, and they got excited too. So there you go. So we'll start off with the omnibus for mine, and then we'll get into the other stuff, because there's some really cool stuff here. And especially if you're a horror fan, I think you can like some of the stuff. The first is not horror though, but I've been wanting this for a while. My mom knows I'm a fan of these here. Actually, I had to cancel a Conan book to get this. But it is Star Wars by Jason Aaron. So Jason Aaron, so this Star Wars run is a modern Marvel run, 2015. This one came out. It's set after A New Hope, so right after episode 4, sorry. And it's incredible. So it has the first 37 issues of the comic strips of the comics. So that's all the Jason Aaron stuff. Plus it has all of Vader Down. So it's got Star Wars Vader Down, and includes the crossover Darth Vader 13 to 15, and annuals 1, 2, and 3. Plus it has Star Wars The Screaming Citadel, which was another crossover that was done, and that was done with Dr. Aphra. So the Dr. Aphra issues, being Black Friday Vinegar Syndrome, I'm not quite sure. I mean, like, it'll depend. I know El Santo is coming up from VSA, and I know, Kathy, that my better half's a huge El Santo fan. So probably that. I'm really looking towards what Severin has coming out for the Black Friday sale, because they have some stuff coming out for Argento, and that's actually very interesting to me. But this is over 1,000 pages. Writing here from Jason Aaron, Kieran Gillen, and some great art from Stuart Amano, Mike Deodato Jr., like the whole work. Salvador Roca. So a ton of people worked on this here. But this is where it gets cool. I asked my better half, I'm gonna get the New York Ninja comic. I want that. I do want the New York Ninja comic. I do have the New York Ninja movie, Razor. You know that. So I do want the comic because the Vinegar Syndrome edition will have a special cover, special variant cover. And I'm a big comic guy, so variant edition covers, hell yeah. All right, so these I didn't know about. These are the ones that she surprised me with. And let's start off with getting the cat off the table. This on. And now that we've done that, Ghostly Tales. So I don't know if my mom's going to remember this, but when I was a kid, we'd go on trips. Sometimes we'd take we'd stop off at stores, and they'd have like comic books, like 3 packs of comics. There, you get them for like 99 cents or $1. And I mentioned the other day that there are these 3 packs. So there's always 2 that you knew and 1 that you didn't. And often the one that you didn't was like a Dell or a Charlton comic. So this is Ghostly Tales. And this comic here this is from 1967 to December of 67. So 5 issues, issue 60, issue 40, and you can see the covers right on the back. I love the way these are done. Just to get you like an idea of some of the artwork on the inside. So you can find some of these in softcover, but one of the things that you'll note when you find the softcover editions of these books is that the softcovers are unfortunately often in black and white. We even have the ads, like there's a Polaris submarine there, right? Todd, you could get this one here. Some Steve Ditko art in here as well, so that's obviously going to be amazing. Super stoked to have this, but that's not all. I thought, okay, well, she get me one. That'll be great. I'll love it. But she also picked me up Black Cat Mysteries. So for those that collect pre-code cinema, for instance, this is what you call pre-code comic books. Hey there, Alvin. So much like the cinema had like a really restrictive code put on them, and after the Hays Code, when they really like started restricting the code in 1954, the Comics Code Authority came into existence. So when the Comics Code did, comics were really tamed down a lot. Now, what you get to see here is some pre-code stuff, and a lot of times you hear about the EC stuff, but there's a lot of comic companies that were going around or at around that time period, and these are harder to find. So this is 4 issues of like Black Cat Mystery. Reading Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1. It's funny reading. Yeah, I know. Like Ditko was one of those guys. As you're reading it, notice how freaking mean, Razor, that Peter Parker can be. Like Peter Parker can be a real jerk in the first volume of Amazing Spider-Man. But this here has a forward by fantastic artist Stephen Arbusette. A lot of you guys are going to know him from things like Swamp Thing. And again, I love that way that I got to show this cover. It's got a Rondo Hatton type of look to it, doesn't it? For my old school like horror fans out there who remembers Rondo Hatton. And one thing that it has that I really like, that my Joker omnibus had from DC, is it doesn't go with the glossy pages, which works for modern day, like with modern day stuff. I find glossy pages work really well, but I love the older school pages for this. This is gorgeous. And last but not least, a Roy Thomas Presents. So I've only got one Roy Thomas Presents in my collection. That's The Heap. The Heap was, of course, the inspiration for both Swamp Thing and Man Thing. But Roy Thomas is a guy that he wrote a ton of comic books. He edited a lot of stuff. And I guess one of the most famous things he did is Conan. But he's known for, and if you've ever watched Near Mint Conditions, He's known for having like an encyclopedic mind, much like the late Mark Grunwald had when it comes to comics. So he like rescued and saved a lot of early comics too. And 1941 to 1947, this is the Phantom Lady. I'm super excited about this one here. So it has all her appearances from 41 to 47, stuff from Pleeks Comics issue 1 to 23, Feature Comics issue 69 to 71, a Fox feature publication, Phantom Lady issues 13 to 15. So I'm going to guess it's like her, it's going to be her stuff in there and not like from the other stuff. But there's a great, looks to be a really great introduction and by Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas really knows his stuff. So if you've ever got any of the early Conan stuff, Conan or Savage or Conan omnibuses, and you've read like the Roy Thomas in introductions, you'll know like how good and how like intense it gets with the stuff. Like, look at this here. Look at these pictures. I love the old school like artwork on this here. Love the way this is done. And I want to thank the people that are sticking here with me and that I haven't gone because I'm attacking comics. Because I know a lot of people do tend to, some people do tend to come in and they'll watch like, oh, he's talking comic books. I'm going to go. So for the people that stayed, you are 1,000,000% appreciated. And that's why when we talk other stuff, you guys are here, and other people that have already left, they're not going to know. So they, but Razor, to put a pin into what you said right there. One of the great things, Let the Freedom Fighters, nice stuff, man. With the letters pages is that Marvel does it a lot. Now, if you've picked up the recent question omnibus, which I really want to get, it came in from DC. Like they don't normally do like letters pages in their omnibuses, but the question had all the letters pages from every issue. The Daniel question, and in the back of the omnibus as special features. So we've got all together. I have one omnibus and 1, 2, 3 hardcover collected editions. My better half has 3 is no good tomes. That's what they're called. Kind of like omnibuses, but they're kind of a little bit smaller, but they're called tomes. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brand new games to add to the collection. And the one we're probably going to play quickest. Question's really, really good, Razor. Have you read the question before? Is this going to be your first time reading it in the omnibus format? Golden Age heroes are fantastic. I'm not sure if you saw the ones that I had here, Eddie, but when I came in, but it was Phantom Lady, Black Cat Mysteries, and Ghostly Tales. First time, okay. Question's fantastic. It's very different. Of course, like as you know, the character of the question was sort of in Watchmen. When Alan Moore was writing Watchmen, it was initially supposed to introduce the characters that DC had gotten that they'd gotten the rights to. And one of those characters was a character by the name of Rorschach. Was the name of the question, and the question was supposed to be was later changed because he changed it. They wanted to keep those characters for whatever they're going to do with them later on, and give them original names. So the question in the Watchmen is called Rorschach instead, and that's Alan Moore's kind of like unique, twisted version of the question. Now, don't expect him to be Rorschach when it comes to the question. The question's a very different comic in that when you explain it to somebody, what are you doing? Hold on a second. Move it. Get out of it. You can take that, but you cannot take that out. My kitty cat was at the modem. When you explain it to somebody, it's gonna sound like the weirdest, most unusual comic ever. But because basically with the question, he does things in a very different, unique way. He works with there's like not politics as in like real world politics, but as in like city level politics when it comes to the question. And I know that may sound like it's really going to be boring, but it's not. Think of the question kind of like a Will Eisner Spirit in that style. Oh, if you like crime comics, then you're good because Question is definitely a crime comic. And of course, there's questions that you've seen in Justice League and Unlimited and stuff like that. It's not quite that. It's a different like question. I would love to see. I'd love to see Ed Brubaker, who did Gotham Central, and of course he did a Catwoman and East End. Like he did a whole bunch. He did like Captain America, like a really good run of Captain America. I'd love to see Ed Brubaker be the next person to tackle the question because he really seems like he's got the chops to do like a really good question. For those that don't know, the question was a character that was created by Steve Ditko back in the day. Unfortunately, it was almost too Steve Ditko-ish when it initially came out because the question, Steve Ditko was a huge fan of Ayn Rand, and Ayn Rand was a very uniquely unusual person. Your Razor, you're good for a point of reference, the kind of the selfism that you'll see in throughout like issues of Spider-Man, especially when Spider-Man is like Peter Parker's like, yes, Jonah, you should totally do that when he knows Jonah's going to make a laughing stock of Jonah James and he's looking in the background real evil. That's kind of a Steve Ditko thing. That's not a Stan Lee thing. So the question when he originally came was this really philosophical style character. Now, when Denny O'Neil came and revamped and redid the question, he became this amazing character that had an incredible run. And the good thing is, if hopefully we get a second volume of the question, it'll be a run. Like you get like just like Sandman, you're going to get a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's a satisfying conclusion to the story. And you can't ask for more than that. When to get like a good run on a comic, like some comics go on, like we got our Spider-Mans and Batmans and Supermans, all that, they go on forever. And anytime they try to change them at all, people start to freak out. Like, oh my God, Superman's dead again for like 2 months, right? But definitely recommend the question to anybody that doesn't have it. It's on sale right now, I think. Let's just check. I'll check on Amazon.com for you guys here for once. Just take me a second. Brubaker's your favorite comic writer. What's your favorite Brubaker story? For me, it's probably Gotham Central. I know, Greg Rucka worked on that too. But I love myself some Brubaker. So the question on the list right now is $66 American. Which probably means it's probably going to be around like 80-ish, 80 or 80 to 81 $2 Canadian. I give a strong recommendation if you're like an Ed Brubaker fan to this one right here. A lot of people have slept on this one. Criminal. I still need to get Criminal. I will be doing a Vinegar Syndrome video store. I'll be up at 2:00 in the morning. I'll be doing Vinegar Syndrome Severin. I'll be doing another Vinegar Syndrome live video tomorrow. I will have a guest or two popping in for the Vinegar Syndrome video. So Master Chaos is going to try to get into for the first part of the video. And I got another one. I don't know if I'm led to say it or not, but there's another guy coming in who you'll see, and I'll advertise before we do the video. So there'll be a video on the day. We'll basically a pre-show. We're going to do a big long pre-show, and after the pre-show, of course, we're going to go to the Crimson Cult, and then we're going to do the shopping together show. So everybody that's Crimson Cult member, we're going to look at stuff together. We're going to shop together. And that's it. And I'm going to call my mom at 1:30 in the morning for something really cool. So there you go. Criminal's fantastic. Also, again, recommendation on just Captain America run. It's incredible. Catwoman of East End. is really freaking good. It's really good. And it starts out with Selena's big score. So you can't go wrong with that. But if you don't have the question to see this one right here, it's gorgeous. The artwork is amazing. It was extremely well done, and strong recommendation on that one. But like I mentioned yesterday in the comic cast video that I did, yep, we got to get some. You got to have Gotham Central in your collection. You got to have Catwoman in your collection, and as always, you got to have some Grant Morrison. So get yourself some Doom Patrol, get Animal Man, that type of stuff. The prices have gone up since the last time you checked. All right, so what we'll do then, we'll actually look into it a little bit tonight, and I'll give a check on afterward. After the comic portion, what we'll do, Video Store, if you're sticking around, is we'll actually look into some of the stuff over there. Give an early look. Prefer the TV season Watchmen than the movie. I'm going to agree. Actually, I know a lot of Zack Snyder fans are gonna hate that, but I really did like the TV series Watchmen. I didn't mind the Zack Snyder one. I think they did a decent approach on it. And I didn't think I was going to like it because they took it the giant squid. Also, because nobody's answered this question, I'm going to ask this here live in this video. What do you think of my hat? Anybody like the hat? I bought this recently. Anyway, I just got to grab something over there, and then we're going to look at more comic stuff, more movie stuff, and a whole bunch more. And who knows, maybe Lordy will walk across there like she did in my video recently. If you watch my Marlowe review, then you're going to know that Lordy pretty much took over that. Favorite Catwoman comic writers? I like that Brubaker's run. Who was writing it during Jim Balance time on when he was drawing Catwoman? Was that Chuck Dixon? Thank you, Razor. Because if it was Chuck Dixon when Balance was drawing, that's when Catwoman had that the sexy the purple costume with the whip. Then I'd say Chuck Dixon for sure on Balance run, and Ed Brubaker. Kind of a modernized version of it. My least favorite Catwoman interpretation, Frank Miller's. I think Frank Miller got Catwoman completely wrong. So I'll be right back. Famous last words, right? What are you doing? Can I trust you, Kit Kat? Aww. Why don't I just take you with me? I've got a MacBook Air. That's the reason I got the MacBook Air in the first place. So that I could just pretty much do it everywhere. It's like the convenience of an iPad with the power of a Mac because I got the M1. I could have got the MacBook Pro when I thought about it, but I wanted to start with the Air because I travel a bit. And I'm traveling to Canada in about a month. Look like good gigs. Well, don't say old, but I'll take the gangster part. Cody Jarrett, right? Top the world, Ma. I was on Facebook, and somebody said that they didn't like White Heat, that they thought he was overacting too much. And then somebody said, yeah, that's what happens when those actors go method, which is kind of comical because method acting didn't actually really exist as a thing until around Brando. It was a real pain with the method acting. As a guy that acted, and yeah, method actors are a pain in the butt sometimes. I just love the fact that I can take you guys with me. So I got my milk here. I am milking out my tea. I was going to have a coffee, but it's too late at night for a coffee. So what do you think? Do you like coming to the kitchen with me when I do this? I do like Instagram videos and Twitter videos. Well, Twitter's still a thing. Who knows? Next week, Twitter may not be a thing. I think it was Chuck Dixon. I think, yeah, I think I did get that one right. But because Balance Run, I love the artwork during the '90s era Catwoman so much. I don't think Jim Aparo did an actual run. Graduation Day, for example, is $39.98 SRP. I'm guessing what you mean, which just seems insane for an older title. Now, does Graduation Day video store question? Does it have a slipcover? Is it the slipcover version that's like $39.98? But that does seem more pricier than stuff before. Just give me a sec. $39.98. Anybody remember like the pricing on that? Give me a sec. Gross. No one will be admitted during Heron's exciting "I got cat food on my hands, so I have to wash them" scene in this video. The non-slip is $34. The average in price, like that's a given. I'll say that right now. I know prices are going up. I'm not sure what it's going to be like for the shipping this year. I don't know if they put out that information yet. I know we've had information from we got all information from Severn out already, and Vinegar Syndrome stuff should still be coming out. We won't know every Vinegar Syndrome thing until the sale like actually starts. Like things are probably leak or slip a little bit early. Hopefully, people keep it under wraps a bit. I did know a couple things earlier this year that were coming out that I didn't mention because I'm not that type of channel. So that's like when Makeflix was doing their thing. Thank you, George. I really appreciate that. So when Makeflix was doing their thing, they I had anybody that had the email could go into the email and check it out. But I didn't want to say it on the channel until after it was done. So that's why last night I was able to do it. Actually say what Makeflix had. I was very tempted. But it's just not everybody's is like that. But it's kind of much like Philip Marlowe. I've got a moral code that I go by. Ready? So let's go around here. Let's take a look at Lordy. Huh? Yeah. Lordy's appearance for this video. If I ever get like up to like 5,000 subscribers or something like that, I'll do like some type of contest, and Lordy will be. She won't be a prize. So I'll somehow like include her as like as a maybe a trivia question type thing. So remember these Lordy appearances. So tonight is the night for you guys to ask anything that you want to ask, by the way. So this is really your night. My better half got back tonight from she got back from Paris. I was supposed to go with her sister to pick her up, but she didn't forget me. I think we got kind of cross wires. It didn't matter as long as I got him back here, so that's good. Oh, okay. Yeah. But I figured we look over a few of the omnibus choices right now, and then we can go. And while I'm doing it, like video stores asking me movie questions, like Black Friday questions. Nothing's off the table. This is your guys' thing. This is your night. And even though it's called comics, like everything is available. Anytime I do a video, it's very open. So if you have questions about Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, Make Flicks, any of the companies that are there, what to get me for Christmas, then that's what I'm here for. I put up the like the banner, like the super chat donate banner on my last video, and I lost like 5 subscribers. So those are people that actually don't like my channel. But actually, no, there's something going on recently, and I had a couple of YouTubers like tell me. So I always check to make sure that you're still subscribed to a channel, because often things will happen every once in a while where YouTube will bump you off channels. I had to once. It was so bad that I had to go and resubscribe to run like 45 channels that I was subscribed to, because I had been unsubscribed by YouTube from the channels, and I was never told. So we're gonna look down this for a minute while I'm doing this. Though, if Video Store or anybody else has any questions, what do I finish the comic history of cinema? I don't know. I don't think I've seen that. Filmish, the comic history of cinema. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Do you know about that out? This is very much going to be your night, guys. So you can ask me anything, and I well, within reason. Last night's video, which did get quite a few, like got some nice views, was demonetized. I actually did a mini video on that. So coming out, well, this is not coming into June, so I'm with that one. But that is Spider-Man 2099. Again, I mentioned that one before. That is going to be like a pretty incredible one. Again, if you're collecting Conan, Marvel has lost the rights to Conan. So at the end of the year, I think beginning next year, Volume 10, the last volume of Conan the Barbarian, the Marvel years, comes out with I think a Todd McFarlane cover. He doesn't do any of the interior artwork, but he does do Todd McFarlane cover. Okay, let's look at a couple of ones here right away. So The Flash by Mark Waid is going to come up in the results really quickly, because The Flash with Mark Waid is probably one of my favorite omnibuses. Am I going to get Conan from Titan? I don't know. Part of me wants to. Like I've seen like some of the images, and I saw the team that's doing it. But I'll be honest, like as much as I'm bitter, like Marvel were putting out the omnibus volumes of Conan in such a fantastic way that because Dark Horse owned the rights to Conan before Marvel got them back, and Dark Horse did these phone book like versions of them, which were good for what they were, but compared to like what Marvel did with the omnibus, it was like it just doesn't touch it. So, and I really don't think Titan's going to have the I'm not just going to say resources. I think they're going to focus on new Conan. I don't think they're going to do any of the older stuff. So, which is a shame. Thank you, George. I really appreciate that. How Spectacular Spider-Man. That one is pre-ordered. That one's actually going to be at my mom's probably around the 1st of December. I pre-ordered it last year. Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man was the second actual full Spider-Man series that came out. Whereas Amazing Spider-Man was where a lot of the kind of the big events, where the big stuff was happening. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, as you can see by having Tarantula on the very first cover, could do a lot with smaller characters, and was able to build up something that like Spider-Man was already known for, but it just took it to the next level. And Roger Stern really did when he was on this one here. Is that Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, did such amazing stuff with kind of like B and C grade level villains, but it really fleshed out the background characters with Spider. I was actually more interested when I was a kid in a lot of the stuff that was going on in Spectacular Spider-Man as I was with the stuff going on in Amazing Spider-Man. So it's a strong recommendation for me on Spectacular Spider-Man. Silver Kyle got it early. He's a Canadian YouTuber. So he's already put up a review of it. Now, just to let you know, it came from the printer from my Mac, which normally is kind of a good thing. But recently, Marvel has been trying to compress their omnibuses. And what that has meant is that whereas in the old days, you'd worry about DC, being a quality omnibus, and you'd be kind of concerned about like paper or like the spine, but Marvel would be always like top notch. So this one, like the paper on it is fairly thin, like know that going in. That's not going to stop me from getting it, but any page that's kind of white on it, you're going to see like the picture through the other page. That's just a heads up. Avengers versus X-Men is an okay crossover. Not a huge fan. I actually had this on order, and I had it for like really cheap too, but I ended up like canceling it. And figured, maybe if it's really cheap, I'll get it down the road. King in Black, Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. They worked on a lot of stuff. Like we got like Donny Cates is probably best known for the cosmic stuff, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Venom. Ryan Stegman, also did the last big run of Venom. We got like before King of Black, there was of course Absolute Carnage. So strong recommendations on that. Really great stuff. But I would say like this is great if you want the whole event. Grab that. If you don't, Venom by Stegman and Cates is coming out too at the same time. We got Miracle Man here, which I love. Not for kids. I would never like say Miracle Man is for children. There's a storyline in Miracle Man, and I don't want to give away too much. But a character, like one of the reasons the character becomes evil is pretty shocking, like really shocking. Another like really good kind of like if you like horror titles, if you like your comics to be more horror centric, then surprising the hell out of me when I picked up an issue was the Immortal Hulk. So the Peter David run on Hulk is what I consider the definitive run. But this is truly a horror story, much in the way that like Jeff Lemire or someone would do it. Hey there, Josephine, welcome. Did Moonflower come out as a movie recently? American Vampire is a second volume coming out really soon, so the first volume here is at a fairly cheap price. Stephen King did some writing on this, so as far as the Star Wars books go, the Legend books are great if you like the Dark Horse era of Star Wars, and they did put a lot of good stuff. I wanted to start with Jason Aaron and probably go into like for me, my next one is either going to be Dr. Aphra or Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen. I think the Charles Soule one is actually out of print right now. I knew June of. Okay, no, then I have not read that. I mean, as you see right here is the Anonymous by Cates and Stegman. So if you don't have like say you don't have the Absolute Carnage one, not getting the King of Black, you just want the actual story and not just like the tie-ins and crossover issues, then Anonymous by Cates and Stegman gives you everything. It'll give you the Absolute Carnage issues, it'll give you all the Venom issues, and it'll give you the King of Black issues as well. So you can save yourself some money there and not have to buy like 3 omnibuses, because even if you buy like Absolute Carnage and you buy King of Black, if you want the Venom issues that are in between there, you are still going to want to get the Venonibus. Thank you, George. I hope that's a good thing, George, and not a bad thing. I hope I didn't make you spend too much money, but I really appreciate the kind words, especially right now. I need it. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, strong recommendation of that. House of M is a really great storyline. And by the way, just because I'm talking doesn't mean Anthropophagus. I'd like Anthropophagus. I think Absurd is better, Yage. But I'm glad you're loving it. If you love Anthropophagus and you haven't seen Absurd yet, pick up Absurd next. Mhm. Anthropophagus, it gets pretty intense, by the way. As you can see right there, $66 in the US, which is way better than price than my better half paid for it that much right now. That's the Star Wars by Jason Aaron. You know, I showed you guys that today. I can't read it till just before Christmas. So a few days before I go, I'll be able to crack that open. And I actually can't wait because I want to get to the Vader Down stuff. Dr. Aphra is really good. So, Deflex, Dr. Aphra was a character that was created by Kieran Gillen in the Darth Vader comic that he did starting in, I think, 2015. So, it was a character that really caught on because Dr. Aphra was kind of like an Indiana Jones type character with questionable morals, and but was just like this character that kind of just really blew up. So they ended up giving Dr. Aphra her own series, and like she has like a Wookiee and a psychotic droid that wants to kill everybody. Like it's really good. I definitely recommend it. So there's a second volume of Dr. Aphra coming out, Deflex. It's going to be cheaper than the first volume. It's going to be a little bit less, but get it at like pre-order it if you want to get it, if you got the first one already. But try to get the first one first. The first one is the first run on the series, and the second volume is like the second run, or at least the start of the second run in the series. So definitely, if you like Star Wars, you like Star Wars before, but if you want something that kind of like can play like outside of the universe as well, then Doctor Aphra is a really good one. So for those who don't know, we'll just actually go quickly to Doctor Aphra. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is the original volume right here, first volume. Uh, this is one of my most wanted omnibuses is Dr. Aphra Volume 1. So as you can see right here, so 1,200 pages. It's got the first run in 2016 is 40 issues of Dr. Aphra plus the annuals 1 to 3. We got Darth Vader issues 3 and 4, which she was in. Issue 8, which I think is part of the Screaming Citadel. Issue 21, no, it's not, because that's part of Vader Down. I think that's part of Vader Down. Issue 21, issue 25, and Star Wars 13, 19, 31, 32. So 31, 32 is Screaming Citadel. And of course, Star Wars Screaming Citadel is there, which will kind of cross over into into if you get the Jason Aaron one. But in all honesty, it's only a couple issues. And when you're getting stuff that's like 1,200 pages each, you're getting a lot of stuff there. The second volume is coming out in June of next year. Here it is right here. And it's issues 1 to 25 of the 2020 series of Dr. Aphra. And just to give you an idea, I'll just read it what it says here. The rogue archaeologist returned with a new crew. Dr. Aphra is back to doing what she knows best, hunting the score of a lifetime that's too good to pass up. But Ronan Tagg, heir to the powerful Tagg family, also has his eyes on the cursed prize, and he's about to change the game in a dangerous way. Can Aphra and her treasure hunting squad find their way to fortune and glory, or is there a traitor in their midst? With a massive price on her head, Aphra must run for her life and avoid every bounty hunter on her tail. But one of those pursuers is her angry ex, Sana Staros. And for Sana, it's personal. Things get more complicated when a galactic war erupts and the Crimson Dawn rises again. One Piece is excellent. I love One Piece. Is the Ultimate Omnibus? That's actually a good question. The Ultimate. Do you like the? Have you read any of the Ultimate like universe? So the Ultimates is the Ultimate. Well, it's Avengers for the Ultimate Universe. Now, the one thing that they wanted to do when it came to the Ultimates is, and anything that wasn't Spider-Man, they wanted to make it more edgy. It was a starting point for people to go into the comics that maybe have not read them before, or for a lot of them, like to get like a younger or kind of hipper audience. So Captain America in the Ultimates, for instance, is like Captain America would really have been if Captain America had been somebody that had been frozen in time or came back from World War II. Is a bit of a jerk, actually. And the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are a brother and sister, and the relationship is a bit more than brother and sister. So if that doesn't bother you, then yeah, it's not bad. Actually, it's not a bad read. Ultimate X-Men's pretty good. Depends on the run that you're reading. I like the later stuff, some of the later Ultimate X-Men stuff, which I may be alone on. Luffy and Amy. I like Luffy. I'm going to go with Luffy. I do like Luffy. Hey there, Ice. Welcome, man. The Boys. I wish like some people would actually read The Boys and understand that they're not supposed to be heroes. But yeah, Ultimates by Miller and Hitch. But now understand, like Miller and Hitch, Mike Millar, like he's the guy that did Kick Ass, and he has Mike Millar has tropes in his comic books that you expect. Like you expect him to be edgy. Sometimes I find Millar can be edgy for edgy's sake. Thank you, by the way. Red Gotham Noir is really good. For November. I'm reading actually I've been reading Gotham Central for November. Dark Knight's Metal, I hated it. I think my daughter, like my oldest daughter, she loved it. I don't know. Don't say she loved it. I'm not sure if she loved it, but she was way more into it than I was. I'm more Marvel than DC most of the time, but there's DC things that actually I get that I just really love, like the Ed Brubaker stuff, the Gotham, Catwoman, a lot of the Batman stuff. But I couldn't get into metal. I mean, was Ennis the one that was? He's not the one. Is it one of them? Who was that? No, that was Ellis. Something else that got really problematic. Well, there's always the good thing with comics, Ice, is there's always a chance to go back and even if a character is not around anymore, is to like retrograde and go back and do stuff with it. So if he's going to do anything else to Boys, I'm not sure if he is, but if he ever does down the road, you never know. Uncanny X-Men Volume 5, strong recommendation on that one right there. Star Wars Legends, New Republic, Volume 2. I don't think that's the one that I got put on pre-order. I got one on pre-order. But I think it's Dark Empire. Like the darker, like the Vader stuff. New Mutants. Incredible cover there by Bill Sienkiewicz. That's it's Warlock. And there's a great issue, and I'm not sure if it's in the first volume or the second volume of New Mutants. Okay, then I haven't read that one. I'm an idiot. Sorry. No, that's being honest. I'm being honest with you here. I have not read that one yet. No, House of M is before House of X and Power of X. See, here's what it goes. So House of M is a storyline with Scarlet Witch. And basically, it's where Scarlet Witch breaks. And it's like an event with the Avengers, and it's a whole it's a whole thing on its own, House of M. But House of why is that not showing? Let me show. But House of X, Power of X, it was Hickman's start for his run on X-Men. And X-Men had the time before Hickman had taken it over was starting to get really flat, really kind of lame. And Hickman, pretty much they just gave it to Hickman to do what he wanted to do. And he said, okay, we've had this whole, the X-Men are being persecuted and they're running and Magneto comes up, over and over again. People were getting tired of it. He was tired of it. So what he decided to do was take all the mutants, put them into their own, put them on Krakoa, make humans not able to go there. Good mutants, bad mutants, all had to live together uh, and he builds up this world, and there's all these other like spin-off series like the Marauders, which is pirates and stuff like that. It's really really good. If you're ever going to read the Jonathan Hickman X-Men, make sure you read the House of X Parvex graphic novel first. It's amazing. If you do pick up the Hickman's X-Men, which is actually a fairly cheap omnibus to pick up, then what you're going to need reading wise for that, you're going to want House of X Parvex before, and you're going to read that before it. Then you're going to read the start into Hickman's X-Men, and you're going to need Ten of Swords, which was a crossover event that's not in it. And then you go back to reading the rest of the X-Men run that's in the omnibus, and you finish it off with the Hellfire Gala. Thank you, Ice. Thank you. My daughter always says Ostrander is one of the most underrated writers going today. Hellions takes place during Hickman's era of the X-Men. You can read Hellions on its own, but it's good to have Hickman's X-Men at least when you're reading Hellions. So Hellions, Marauders, stuff like that. If it's the initial run, will take place like during the Hickman's run on X-Men. And you'll be able to tell because the books look very different than the other omnibuses. They have their own. Hickman's got his own style, and he had so much power that when it came time to do the omnibus, he said, "Okay, this is how I want mine done. This is how I want things to look." John Ostrander should have much more stuff out. Fantastic Four by John Byrne is here. Fantastic Four is one of those that you either get into. They do look like oversized hardcovers. The X-Men run is the biggest out of all of them. But the rest of them are pretty much oversized hardcovers. Now, I couldn't get the oversized hardcover for House of X Parvex, so I had to buy the collection, the softcover edition. But you can tell, like most of them are oversized hardcovers. That's the neat thing is when you find like an artist that you like, and when we used to go to comic conventions a lot, and when we used to go to comic conventions, we would find like artists like Ty Templeton because of he worked on like Batman Adventures and like a lot of books that we liked. So we got like some stuff by him. I remember going to my first convention, and the very first thing that I did was I got in line because I wanted to meet Neil Adams because Neil Adams is an idol of mine. Not only did I love Neil Adams like artwork, but when Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel were pretty much drowning in debt and extremely poor, he was he's the guy that got it there and basically like shamed DC into giving Siegel and Schuster not just credit on the Superman movie that was coming out at the time, but giving them like money, giving them an actual pension, so that they could actually live a bit more comfortably. So I've always had a great love for Neil Adams. Rest in peace, Neil Adams. I got to meet Neil, and I got to meet his son Josh at a convention. They were extremely nice. I got artwork from both of them. I have Neil Adams like Tarzan and Neil Adams Conan, and I'm very, very like glad that I got them now. And I've got a Josh Adams, Matt Smith, Doctor Who drawing. I wish I was so peeved, Deflex, when I got the Hickman omnibus and I realized I'm going to have to go and buy Ten of Swords as well. There's Ultimate X-Men right here, Volume 1. I'm eventually going to get it because I want to get the Ultimate stuff. I'm more interested in the 2099 universe than the Ultimate universe, but I know I'm going to have to get both, even though, like, if they put out, like, what's that Ultimate, like, the way they ended? They screwed up the Ultimate universe in the end. They, like, really messed it up. Like, I can honestly say it was like horrible. Gwenpool is there. If you're a big fan of like the Deadpool and you like the character Gwen Stacy, then Gwenpool is kind of a fun one. Kind of like, not kind of like, because it's different. But there's an omnibus coming up, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and I did like that. Speaking of ones that are good here, Ice, 52 omnibus. I'm sure you got that, but it's a really good one. There's the fifth volume of Peter Davidson, Incredible Hulk. Now, the first four volumes is complete original run on the Hulk. This here is the stuff that came much later, but still a really good volume to have. You're going to want to have all the volumes for that. I want to say again, I did a video here tonight, but rest in peace, Jason David Frank. I was shocked when I heard that unfortunately he unalived himself, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the Power Rangers, and he was like my Power Ranger. And with that being said, Nikki Acox died this week too, a couple days ago, and she was young. She was in Supernatural. She was on a lot of shows, and really loved her. I was hoping to meet her in a convention. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That's the thing, and that's why I always say, Deflex, and I say to all you guys out here right now, that there's times that we've had in our lives. I've had in my life when things have seemed really rough, and where I didn't think I was going to make it past the next day, or if I wanted to. But there's always, no, I'm here to listen. Like, there's always somebody here, somebody to listen, even when you feel like there's not. Even if it's a stranger, even if you talk to somebody, if you go to a coffee shop, talk to somebody in the street, I don't care. Or pick up a phone and call that number. Just don't let yourself get lost into the shadows. Because there was a time when I was not here. I'm lucky in that I am right here, talk to all you guys tonight. I'm in Morocco. I got to go to my first film festival, and I just if I get to talk and meet all you guys on here, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming Black Friday sale, and just honestly thank you guys, because it's a privilege and a pleasure, to come on here and talk to you guys and have you guys actually come in, and even like George is not a huge comic guy, but he's here, and I really appreciate that. Anyway, just want to say that. Oh, I'll be doing a video, a pre-show, for appreciate you back, man. Appreciate you all. I'll be doing a video, a pre-show for the Black Friday sale. For the set, so we'll be talking Severum, talking Megflix, we'll be talking Vinegar Syndrome. We're gonna be looking at all the stuff. Vinegar Syndrome is gonna have the big announcements. Severin's gonna have that Dairy Gentle bundle. I'm gonna tell you right now, get the hell in and get that if you want it, because that's gonna go really fast. And we're gonna do all that together. We're gonna see if we can get our stuff. But yeah, I'm loving it here. It's a little chillier now than normal, so I'm wearing a hoodie tonight. I don't think I did, Gwendolyn. I don't think I have. The neat thing is the stuff, like when you guys tell me things that I don't like, it's other stuff that I put on my list to read and to watch, whether it be like a movie or comic. Spider-Verse, if you're Spider-Man fan, this is a really good it's a good crossover. It's two crossovers, really. It's the Spider-Verse crossover and Spider-Geddon. They're two separate crossovers put into one omnibus, both by Dan Slott, who is both like a great thing for Spider-Man and one of the worst things ever happened to Spider-Man. I'll check it out. Animal Man, I already mentioned that one. We know that one's worth getting. War of the Bounty Hunters, I'm iffy on. I love this. I freaking love this Boba Fett cover. Though I'm less of a Boba Fett fan after a book of Boba Fett. I didn't finish that. I really should. But I heard War of the Bounty Hunters is kind of a okay crossover, not a great crossover, but an okay one. Ultimate Spider-Man. Hopefully we get a volume 3, because we need to get the rest of this one. Avengers by Jonathan Hickman. I just love everything that Hickman does. Which is the worst Dan Slott run? uh, it starts out okay, but here's the thing. When when Dan Slott was doing Superior Spider-Man, if you read the omnibus Superior Spider-Man, or you read it in trade paperback format, really, really good read. If you were reading Superior Spider-Man on a monthly basis, it was freaking agonizing and frustrating as hell. But I would say probably his Brand New Day stuff is probably some of his Superior Spider-Man. It kind of dips. When you say Ultimate Spider-Man, do you mean like the Peter Parker Ultimate Spider-Man D-Flex, or do you mean like the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man that came in after it? I'm a fan of the Miles Morales one. I didn't think I was going to be, though. I remember picking up the Death of Spider-Man comic, and then picking up the first like Miles Morales one, and realizing they're completely different characters. Peter, I liked. I mean, I thought it was well done. I didn't like the Goblin in the Ultimate Spider-Man. Well, Lone Wolf is amazing. I mean, like the fact that it's not. I read Lone Wolf and Cub in like small, like kind of stock cover, like soft cover issues. Now, but yeah, it's an omnibus. It's a cheap. Look, it's $24. It went on too long for me. Superior Spider went on too long for me. I like it, but it won me over. Here's the thing: when Superior Spider-Man started, I was pissed. Like I was really pissed. I was on the comic book forum, and I was not happy with Dan Slott. And he wasn't happy with anybody that didn't like his stuff. So he's a bit of an ass. But I understand why he was. I'd be a bit thin-skinned if everybody was telling me that hated my stuff. So, do I prefer the manga or movies of Lone Wolf and Cub? I love them both, but I'm a manga guy, so I do love the movies. I like 100%, but I love to read them. Like Akira is the same. Like Akira, for me, Akira. I saw the movie Akira when I was in college, and it was around at the time that I was getting into into anime. So now, when I was in college, it wasn't like now. Like you couldn't go out and like get a DVD of like or go online and find a streaming service with a channel. What you did was you had a very few, like Akira and stuff like that, that were in English. But most of the stuff, you got Dirty Pair or any of those type of stuff, Keen Yuri, then you ordered away from Asia, and often from Japan, and you got to come, and there was no subtitles at all, so it was in its original language. And there was a bunch of us, like there was a group of us who would get together, and we would put it on, try to figure out what was going on as best as we could. Dirty Pair was easy because it was like they're usually on a mission which caused massive destruction and caused them to blow up a planet. So that was Dirty Pair. But yeah, it was I when I started watching anime. Of course, my first was Robotech and Astro Boy, but when I got into college, then most of it was like not subtitled into the language. Marvel's Omnibus is fun. DCeased is better. I'm gonna this is a bit of a hot take, but I'm gonna say I think DCeased is better. But Marvel Zombies I think went on a little bit too long. Marvel Zombies is another thing that got started in the Ultimate Universe in Ultimate Fantastic Four, actually, if I remember correctly. Oh, Daredevil, by the way, you can pick up almost any Daredevil omnibus. Maybe not the Stan Lee one, the original one, although I do like that one. But it's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody. But you got a modern Daredevil omnibus, you got a good run. Like you got a good omnibus. You pretty much can read all the way through. It can be the Brubaker one. It could be God, anything. And Frank Miller. Any. I would love to see Anne Nocenti Daredevil omnibus because I think that her run is really underrated. Discotheque does some great stuff. find something that you like, George. Like, look at some stuff. Like, here's the thing with anime, like the best place to start is like to find one that you like and just like go like see if it's completed or see if it's ongoing and start there. It's like Takatsu, right? I'm a big Takatsu fan. So I grew up with stuff like Ultraman. And they of course there was eventually I got to see things like the Power Rangers and of course when I was young there was Kamen Rider and there got to be the Mass Rider and all that type of stuff. So what you do is you find one that interests you because the thing about anime is it there's so much like variety that's the same as in any other type of film. I wouldn't suggest starting with hentai. Just don't start there. Um, there's a really good movie called Perfect Blue, if you like thrillers, and it's a movie. It's a 2 hour long, hour and a half, 2 hour long film, somewhere in there, hour and a half, I think. And it literally it's a mystery thriller, and it's an anime, and it's unique in that it's its own movie. Like there's no follow up or anything. That Perfect Blue is its own thing, and they actually made a live action version of it too, I think. But if you've never seen the anime, definitely check it out. Because if you like live action, if you like anime and like you like thrillers and like kind of like stalker type thing, Invincible's really good. I really liked Invincible. I'm through. I think I've read. I don't own it now, but I read up to maybe the second. Invincible has an amazing twist on it. There's so Brubaker and Lark, Daredevil Omnibus. That's a really good one. If you like the old school stuff, Amazing Spider-Man is a great run because Volume One is the complete Stanley Steve Ditko one. Also, if you pick up the first volume of Doctor Strange, it's a smaller volume, and so you can usually get it for cheaper. It's the complete Stanley and Steve Ditko Doctor Strange. So when you get into Volume Two, you're getting into Rod Thomas and other writers. But Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume One and Doctor Strange Omnibus Volume One are complete Stanley Steve Ditko runs. Daredevil Bendis, yeah. That was a good run too. I want Mark Wade's Daredevil. I don't know if it had anonymous and I missed out on it, or if it's gonna. I think it did. But come back in print. I want Daredevil by Mark Wade back in print because he did some different stuff with it. I like Bendis's run on it too, though. I just missed getting Kevin Smith's run on Green Arrow recently in absolute format. I missed out on. My mom's watching now, but she was probably watching her. But there was 2 omnibuses that I almost got this week, and because I go to a site I don't want to say, but it's in Canada, but they have omnibus sales, and when they do, they're really cheap, but they only have 1 or 2 of each copy, sometimes just 1. And if you don't buy it immediately, you can whistle into the wind. You ain't getting it. It's just not going to happen. I mentioned the Titans comics, Conan. I'm still unsure. I'm still bitter that Marvel's are not doing Conan. This actually Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Farm 2 looks like it's out of print now. But if you can find it, it's for me, it's better than the first volume. Because as much as I like Ditko, his methodology and his selfism and stuff like that gets a bit too much steeped into the early stuff. Peter Parker's pretty unlikable in the Ditko run. But Romita just really takes it to another level. I would kill for House of Mystery. I grew up reading House of Mystery. And this is one of the big comics. I read it around the 80s, so it was around the Andrew Bennett time. So for those who don't know, A House of Mystery is an anthology comic, much like EC Comics, like the Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt type of thing. But for a short period of time in the 80s, they actually had an ongoing serialized story called I, Vampire. And they brought I, Vampire back during New 52. It wasn't as good, but it got a complete run and a beginning, middle, and end. And then they did the Vampire crossover in DC and totally screwed it up. But the original I Vampire with Andrew Bennett was really good. Now that would probably be in House of Mystery Volume 4 if it comes out. I'm a huge fan of Grant Morrison, actually. Invisibles is a lot of fun. Invisibles is not a regular comic. Uh, Invisibles, Grant Morrison stuff was more of a, if you do you like Grant Morrison D-Flex? That's one thing I gotta ask you right now. Have you've read Grant Morrison, I'm guessing. So you read Animal Man or Doom Patrol or something along that lines, or maybe it's Batman Run. Because Grant Morrison's job in comics is to challenge you and to make you think and to take the most obscure comic references and make them into a big storyline. So stuff like Zur-En-Arrh. So think Batman Zur-En-Arrh in his Batman run. Okay, well, maybe see if you can find a download an issue of Invisibles before you pick it up then, because Batman is more straightforward for Grant Morrison. His Batman run, his X-Men run are pretty, they're stranger, but they're still more straightforward than what you would get afterwards. Because Invisibles, Doom Patrol, they're Vertigo titles. So the best Grant Morrison to start with, if you haven't read much of anything, is Animal Man. That's definitely the best one to go with initially. So I don't want you to spend money and then be disappointed. And if you're not a fan of Doom Patrol, yeah, you're not gonna. It's not gonna be your jam, man. Savage She-Hulk was a decent run, She-Hulk, but I really think that you really want the John Byrne Sensational She-Hulk run. This is neat. So you guys kind of team comics, but you want some kind of a badass, edgy team comic. Well, here we go. The Savage Avengers. Who was in the Savage Avengers? Well, we got Wolverine, we got Punisher, we got Conan. I kid you not, we got Conan. We have oh God, there's so many. We got Venom. So if you're liking the lineup so far, Savage Avengers is coming out, I think March now. Out of the Iberian Age and into the Marvel Universe, here comes Conan the Barbarian. The Sumerian warrior finds his way in the 21st century to meet up with savage new friends more than happy to join him in battle. Wolverine, Venom, Elektra, and Punisher. The Hand has summoned a death god from a celestial hell. The only thing standing between Earth and destruction is Conan and those who will fight by his side. As Conan's global journey begins, he's joined by Doctor Strange, Black Widow, Doctor Doom, Magic, Deadpool, and more. But can even the whole army of Savage Avengers stand against evil wizard Kulan Gath, harnessing the awesome power of the elder god Shumagarath, which includes the first 28 issues of Savage Avengers, the first annual Zero Story, Uncanny X-Men 190 and 191. I like Hickman's Avengers. It's a bit more challenging than his Fantastic Four run. Good one. Okay, so I want to say that. So what Sean said there is actually a great suggestion, by the way. Check your local libraries if you're unsure on a comic, because you do get a lot of comics that come out to your local libraries. I like Hickman's Avenger run. Hickman's Fantastic Four runs on another level. Hickman's X-Men is on another level. I don't think the Avengers are quite there, but Hickman's good for the long game. I find Hickman thinks in the long game. Some people really find that Hickman doesn't deliver in the long game, but I do. I find Hickman delivers in the long game. Surprisingly good storyline. Injustice. Something that I never thought was going to be any good, because one was based on a video game, so that automatically usually means it sucks no matter how good the game is. And it was digital comics. They weren't physical comics. Yeah, digital services, there's the Marvel, was it the Marvel Universe, right? And DC Ultimate or DC Infinite. Digital libraries like Libby are there, cloud libraries. There's a whole bunch of ones to choose from. So Injustice had 2 volumes altogether, 2 omnibuses. Good storyline, really good stuff. Really brutal Superman. You like your comics brutal? You want to see heroes getting killed and stuff like that? Try Injustice. Batman and Robin by Tomasi and Gleason, I really like. I really like their running. I liked the Tomasi and Gleason's run in Superman as well. I thought they did a really good job with it. Um, the most confusing omnibus for me recently, aside from one which we'll get to in a minute, is Spider-Man by Joe Kelly. Not that I mind it, or not that I mind like Joe Kelly stuff. I do like a lot of stuff that Joe Kelly does, but was this really like one of the top ones that people were thinking about? Was this the Spider-Man run that people were going like, "Oh my god, yeah, we don't. I don't need Web of Spider-Man. I need Joe Kelly. I want a Web of Spider-Man on this. Goddamn it." Green Arrow, Longbow Hunters, strong recommendation of those. There's two of them. They're beasts too. Those are beasts. Silver Surfer, Dan Slott. The original one's better. Thing omnibus is actually interesting. I'm actually kind of curious about that one. They put out a couple good like character omnibuses recently. The Doctor Doom omnibus is amazing. If you're a fan of like Loki and you're not going to be picking up like the Thor, like the Golden Age stuff, or the Silver Age stuff, because Thor was around Golden Age, then the Loki volume is actually really nice, really well put together. They're reprinting the Daredevil by Miller and Jansen, by Frank Miller and Klaus Jansen, which is a fantastic run on Daredevil. I hate the fact that the omnibus companion is actually so small, but really good run on that. And some people don't like the fact that they've changed the cover, but I kind of dig it. I got asked by Chris. I'm not sure if Chris is still here. He was here at the beginning of the video about the Black Panther and like what run to go with, because there's a few out there. So the Christopher Priest run of Black Panther is really good. I like the Ta-Nehisi Coates run on Black Panther, but I feel like if you get Ta-Nehisi Coates, you're going to want to get World of Wakanda. So maybe Christopher Priest is actually not really a bad place to start. It's a really good era of the comics. This is the '90s, late '90s era. So it's like Black Panther 1 to 33. We had Deadpool 44 here. It's 840 pages, gorgeous cover art. Some work inside by Mark Tesseri, who does some great stuff. Vincent Evans as well. I go back and forth on Wolverine because I like the Wolverine comics, but I'm not as big in some of the graphic novels that are included. Now, this here is for those that this is Star Wars, like this would be the Legend stuff. So there is Star Wars Legends and there's Star Wars canon. And how that works is basically this. So Star Wars canon is everything that's been done and that's in comic book, and it's in canon with the movies and the Disney Plus shows and everything that's going on. So Jason Aaron's run on Star Wars, Charles Soule run on Star Wars, Charles Soule's run on Darth Vader, Kieran Gillen's run on Darth Vader, that would be called Star Wars canon. The Star Wars comics came out like kind of previously, kind of the ones that kind of just like did more on with the stuff with the mythos, the Dark Horse stuff, a lot of the earlier stuff that was done, like the Republic, Star Wars Purge, like even some later stuff. This would be canon, but it will be hidden in the Star Wars Legends universe. So I'll do a video in the future, kind of explaining the differences between Star Wars Legends and Star Wars canon. I'll make it into a comic cast video. I love Onslaught. I don't care that not many people like Onslaught, but I like Onslaught. There's been a lot of Thor runs recently. My favorite run on Thor, a lot of people are going to say Walt Simonson. I'm going to agree. It's a great run. But I also love Jason Aaron's run on Thor. So his last name is my first name. You can't miss out on that. I have not seen Black Panther yet. It is playing at a local theater here, George. But if you saw my pictures I put on Instagram, you saw it. But I want to go see it in the near future if I can. Last movie that I saw in theater was Marlowe, and that was at a Comic-Con, at the film festival. There's Inferno by John Hickman. You're going to need that too, by the way. That's the other book I forgot about. Batman's No Man's Land is a great Great storyline. You're gonna need 3 books for it. I am going live for Black Friday. I heard the Black Adam's good. I think Black Adam's gonna be fun. Um, and I hate people when like people are like, "Well, it's DC or Marvel." Like you can like them both, right? Um, so I'll be going live for Black Friday sales. I'll be doing like the as always, Sean. I'm gonna be doing the big and because I'll be probably getting a bunch of caffeine. I'll be getting using an espresso, make some lattes, because it's gonna be like 2 o'clock in the morning that I'm gonna start my my Black Friday video with at my time because it's it's a big difference in between my time and your time. And I'll be going, and so the Black Friday sales of Severin and Vinegar Syndrome and all those go live at 6 a.m. in the morning my time. So I am going to be burning the midnight oil and then some for the Black Friday sales. But I did it every year before, and I promise that I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. And I have some guests coming in for the Black Friday sales. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So make sure you're there for it. And I know you're part of our Crimson Cult too. So make sure you're in the Crimson Cult when we do go live for the live part of the when the sales go live. It's 3:28, so you're 2 minutes off. But yeah, it's 3:30 right here right now. But here's the thing. If I am going to make a video and I commit to making something for you guys right here, I commit to it. It's if there's any way that I can go about doing it, I do it. So it doesn't matter if it's like 3:30 in the morning or if it's 6 o'clock in the morning. If I'm going to make a video for this channel here or for my Patreon channel, it's like I'm taking this very seriously right now, but I'm still trying to have fun with it. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm still trying to like. It hasn't worked yet, but I'll do it again. I'm still trying to get some super chats and donations because if I get enough money, I can get the Mallard off of my screen and get the non-free version of StreamYard. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping in the near future it'll happen. But either way, I'm here, and I'm going to be here no matter what time it is. 2:30 in the morning over there in Scotland. George is still here with us. It's 3:30 here, and I'm here because honestly, I really appreciate that you guys are here, and the fact that I'm talking comics right now, and so and that I still have you guys like whether and it doesn't matter the amount of viewers. Like if it's 10 viewers, if it's 12 viewers, if it's 5, if it's 100 viewers. I go towards this the same way. It doesn't change for me. It's just when there's a lot more, it's a lot harder to. That's when you do need a super chat. If you say like 100 so people there, and you really want to get a question across, then yeah, then use that. Hey Juan, welcome, man. I am happy to be doing this. I'm happy to be here tonight. We will be doing the Black Friday sale. We're doing a pre-show like we always do. So you're going to get the pre-show out of me. You're going to get the full Black Friday sale video out of me as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love to visit Scotland, George. If I visit Scotland, we're having coffee or tea. Well, we're doing that. And you can show me your favorite shop. Gotham Central. Own it. Like it's Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka. It's amazing. You don't even have to like comic books. You just got to like crime noir. If you like crime noir, doesn't matter if you like comic books or not, Gotham Central, own it. It's one of those that is a must. I don't believe this is coming out. They've said it is, and they've canceled it, and they've said it is, and they canceled it. But Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is actually by James Tynion IV. So this Man Thing was freaking amazing. I have this one, and it blew my mind. Especially the story with the Dead Clown. That was incredible. The story with Dead Clown was incredible. The story with the crash bus was amazing. A lot of people now know Man Thing because of the Werewolf by Night. I got to see the character in Werewolf by Night. Tarzan the Besemiers, is that really coming out? Moon Knight by Houston, Benson, and Hurwitz. Another good omnibus right there. It's finally getting the second volume of Defenders, Power Rangers Universe. All of these ones here. And look, it's got the White Ranger. Damn, that hit me hard. But that being said, I want to take a second to like put this over to you guys. Like tomorrow we'll be doing a Vinegar Syndrome live video, so I won't be going a lot right now. What I'm going to mention here is that the staff picks are dwindling down. Mom, if you're still there, there's a package coming for me, and I do mean to dwindling down. Down is gone. Cecilia is gone, and I didn't get a copy of it. It's breaking my heart. It's shaking my confidence daily. Though Tough Ones, which is one that if you don't own, it's it's Pliziateshi. So you gotta own this one if you like Pliziateshi films. There's only 3 copies left. There are 3 copies left. Ideal Place to Die is a fantastic film. Oasis of Fear is the other title for it, or in the UK, guys. And if you don't own it, there's only 5 copies left of that one. Living Corpse. How the hell is there copies of Living Corpse left? It's freaking out of print. Oh man, I'm jealous. My better half was jealous too. Corruption is now gone. Is there a second? So we still have copies of Two Evil Eyes. 2 left. Damn, I wanted to get that one. I wanted this one really bad. Maniac Cop 3. I'm not going to get it. I know I'm not going to get it now. So 1 copy I have left. And I want it for the commentary. Slept sold out. Panic Beats is sold out now. In a Glass Cage is sold out. Necromantic 2 is sold out. Death Laid an Egg is sold out. Lift is down to 4 copies. It's really starting to sell. I've been mentioning the staff pick sale for the last week and a half since it started. And to my own horn, I've got a lot of this stuff sold. If you've been watching my staff picks videos, there have been people who've been buying like 5, 6, like I don't know, about 6 like ones each time that I did a staff picks video. Even Final Countdown. Yeah, Final Countdown's got one left. It's a 4K with a lenticular cover. And it's a Blue Underground 4K. Any Blue Underground 4K is amazingly remastered. I don't think it's a bad Blue Underground 4K. Emmanuel in America. There's one copy left, guys. If you want it, there's 1 copy left. I know the Black Emmanuel set is coming out eventually from Severin. Well, we don't know when yet. But there's a full-length, feature-length documentary on Joe D'Amato. And Joe D'Amato is like definitely right up there with Jess Franco is like the king of sleaze, and his documentary is going to be really incredible. I actually have it. The Devil's Nightmare, only 3 copies left on this one here. These things are going fast. Obsessions has 10 copies left. I know that I've sold a couple of copies of Obsessions because it was just I just thought it was that good. The only Radley Metzger one left is Camille 2000. Score is gone. What was the other one? There's another one here that he did. Licorice Quartet. That looks like that was. Is that gone or is it still there? No, still there. Licorice Quartet is still there. So Camille 2000's got 23 left. That's one of the few that has like a lot left. Licorice Quartet's really good. I'm surprised that has 8 left. But a lot of these are going under 10. Shoutscope Volume 2. Oh. If you got on the way, George, I'm very jealous of you too, man. But the stuff that's here, like, look how quickly this stuff has gone out. Like, when we saw this, there's some of these things had 40, 50 copies of them, and they're down to like 3, like 1 or 2. If you don't have this, though, if you don't have Grindhouse releases and Tough Ones in your collection, Only thing I can really say, I'll be honest, is why not? It's that good. It's really that good, and the features are that good. Like if you like Italian cinema, um, it's just amazing. And we had like Master Chaos on last video, and he said that he finds that like the westerns, the poliziesque films, he really likes. He struggles a bit more with the giallo films, but it's a to each their own. But the thing is that this is one of the best. 99 Women is in 13 copies. It's a 3 disc set. The fact that there's 3 copies of Mondo Vision's L'Amour Broke is actually surprising to me, because Mondo Visions, if you've ever seen a Mondo Vision like title, what they put together so well. But with that being said, guys, at 3:30 in the morning, one thing I truly got to say, I want to thank you, because not everybody comes in when I don't have Severin or Vinegar Syndrome on my title. That's the truth of the matter, and that's because that's what they're interested in. That's okay. But you guys came in, and I truly appreciate that. I really do. And listen to me talk about and geek about comics. And although I cannot read these until I'm sure it'll last for a bit. Your Criterion like haul was epic, George. I can't read these till like closer to Christmas, but I can't be more excited about like some than these here, because these are the type of things like when your collection, when it's like you're like, damn, I really want. Look at this. Look at this cover. Look at this cover right here. I can't wait to read this. First of all, I'm a Phantom Girl. Definitely worth diving into, man. This is a PSR book right here. This one, did you see good prices on them? Like this one here ran around like I think it was 45 euros. So it wasn't cheap, but it was definitely worth picking up. Forward by Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas is behind the PC. Like there's Planet Comics. There's a few different ones, but I really wanted Phantom Girl. I really wanted all of them. I just thought I better have just to pick one, just because I wanted them all, and just to to dive into them. Let me just pick a cover here. So, page, just give you an idea. Bit of a weird page, huh? It's incredibly well done. And of course, last but not least, for me, I'm so excited. Star Wars by Jason Aaron. I'm a huge Jason Aaron fan. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I've been wanting to get back to the Star Wars comics for a while, but I didn't know where to start. It was kind of daunting for me. I want to start in like the Dark Horse era. Then if I did, then I'd have to go. Where do I want to start? Old Republic? Do I want to start in the Empire era? Do I want to go to the Rebellion books? So finally, I said I want to start at kind of like the Marvel sort of beginning. Like I watched the films, I read some of the early Marvel comics and stuff like that. So Jason Aaron did a kind of a really lauded run on Star Wars. This is the artwork in the back right here. By the way, this has an amazing. I can't open it because it's a Christmas gift. That's amazing wrapper and cover. Collecting old pulp. I used to when I was younger. I used to have a lot of Doc Savage and Shadow stuff. Especially Doc Savage. I was a huge fan of Doc Savage because he was this weird type character. For those that don't know, Doc Savage, they've been trying to do a new movie of Doc Savage for a while. But he's a weird pulp type character. He had a series of novels. He had a bunch of guys that worked with him. So rather than kill villains, what Doc Savage would do, I kid you not, this is a real thing in Doc Savage pulp novels, by the way. He would give them brain surgery so that they wouldn't be able to commit crimes anymore. He would, that's the thing. That's the thing. George, have a wonderful evening, man. Thank you so much for coming in, especially when it's so late over there. You would give them brain surgery. So basically, you'd mess with their minds. Nowadays, that would be like if you've ever read, what was it called again? Identity. Was Identity Crisis? The Brad Metzger one. It kind of messed me up, actually. It's very similar to that in the style that it's gone in. But I don't know what I'm most excited about out of all these here. I really, really, really want to read the Star Wars stuff, but I really like, in all honesty, every time I go back to Paris, or I'm going to Paris, or my better half goes to Paris, I'm going to ask her if she goes, get me one of these here books, these P.S. Hart books. That's the P.S. Hart book too, of course. They all are. What I only think one of them was. Because you got like the different series. You got the Harvey horrors. You got the Roy Thomas Presents classics. You got the Silver Age classic stuff. And I got my phone here because I got a picture. Ouch. So I'll tell you some of the other stuff that are in there that I saw that was in the shop because my better half sent me some pictures. They do. Like I looked at one of them there, and it had like this atomic submarine triad. So what they had there's stuff like Chamber of Chills, Tomb of Terror, Witch's Tales, Planet Comics, Rulan, Fight Comics, Kona, Unexplored Worlds, Weird Tales of the Future, Unusual Tales, Spaceman, Brain Boy. Let me just look. I'm pretty sure that they do. I think this one has like ads for sure. There you go. Right here. Government surplus. Save hundreds of dollars. In the back here, you can see some other Pre-Code Classic. And Pre-Code means something. Same as they did in movies. Pre-Code, they did. I remember some of these ads. I'm not this old, but I remember the ads in comics I had too. I remember these guys, these type ads. Like get the X-ray glasses, or the gum, stuff like that. Let's see if all of them have like ads on them. I know that the Silver Age ones do. Nothing as in the Phantom Lady, but the Phantom Lady is different in the fact that the Phantom Lady is one where it's taken Phantom Lady stories from different books because she, until the end, she really didn't have her own book. So, now when it's her own book, though, they would have the ads in there. So let's check Black Cat Mysteries. So we know the Silver Age classics have the ads. They have been reprinting Eerie and Creepy. I've got a few of them. They're Eerie and Creepy Archives, the initial ones that came out. All of them have been printed. I'm not sure if maybe they're redoing them, but the Eerie and Creepy Archives are amazing. Like they are mind blowing, and they do have the ads in there, by the way. And so does this one. So this one here, because it is the complete issue. So it could be the Harvey Publications old calendar. It could be a Teleron TV wave trap ad. How freaking mind-blowing is it when you find the ads in here? Isn't that fantastic? It's like when you buy the Marvel ones, right? And it'll have the letters pages. So it's just so cool to have. I got to close this up because I'm going to read it. I really am. But I didn't know that Alien Creeper were getting another reprint. I know the initial one's got reprints, and I know the Vampirella stuff. I don't have any of the Vampirella stuff yet. I'd love to get some of that stuff. And of course, we got, for those that came in late, we got Cockroach Poker. None of these we can actually look at until Christmas, by the way. Well, our Christmas, before I go to Canada. We got Wolfgang Warsch's The Mind, which actually won an award, a Cannes Award, at 2019. Epic never get collected editions, right? Which is Epic, like the Marvel Epics or the... I gotta look up. I need to know what this is in English. This is Six Nimmt by Wolfgang Kramer. My better half is a big like board game fan. She watches like Twitch streams of Blood on the Clock Tower, like 2 to 4 to 5 hour like Twitch streams. So we've recently started getting into like board game collecting as well, because we're not collecting enough stuff already. We got this one here, Skull, which looks utterly gorgeous. Look at this, beautiful, isn't it? Asmodee did this one. I love anthology comics. Heavy metal. I grew up in heavy metal ice. Like heavy metal, I remember buying all the time, along with things like about heavy metal and National Lampoon. So I would go to my way to get those. And because I'm a twisted SOB, Cyanide and Happiness, The Dilemma Express. Who doesn't want a good morality game in there to play with a bunch of friends? I remember the first time I went to like a board game party where we played what is the game again? The one where you it's killing me right now. Epic Illustrated. I like the Epic Illustrated for some stuff they did. Like even like Penthouse Comics did some good stuff in between like this other stuff. I could see they were trying initially. Do you know what kills me? Anybody that collects omnibuses or comics is gonna get this reference right here. So I'm going to show you something. Actually, do I have a picture? No picture. There's a video. In France, my better half walked into a comic shop, and one of the first things she saw was Tomb of Dracula Omnibus, Volume 3. I flipped out. She was gone to bed, and so I paused the video, took a snapshot, circled around it, said, if that's in the store, that's been out of print for like around 8 years. And I haven't seen anything of it coming back in print. And she went to the store, but it was the French version. There was no English version over there. I was so disappointed. Thank God I wish I was able to find all this really cool stuff. I've ever tried binding. I haven't actually. I don't have enough floppies anymore for the binding. Back in the day, when I had like complete runs on Batman, like not complete runs, but I mean like long runs on Batman, Spider Man, the Image Comics had like the whole like Shadowhawk and like the first 50 or 6 issues of like Spawn before I sold them. That would have been something that like now, like looking back on it, if I had them, I definitely would thought about doing. Like did or get them binded, get them custom bound, and get a do a custom cover. But for me right now, it's just easier to just wait for the omnibuses to come out. I'm just really waiting for the Clone Saga to come back out again. That's because I came into the omnibus and collected editions late. But God, I want to read these so bad. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Aaron, and for coming in here in the Color Comics, just you'll know ahead of time we're going to be doing the Vinegar Syndrome thing probably tomorrow night. I'm gonna try tomorrow night, but we're doing it next week anyway. Vinegar Syndrome, and we'll look at Severin as well, and we'll focus more on Vinegar Syndrome because we did a Severin and one, but we'll be doing both. And on the Black Friday sale, so basically Thursday night, this is the place to be. And we will be going over in the pre-show. I'll have guests on. We'll be talking about all the different like trying to guess what the Vinegar Syndrome stuff is going to be. We'll be talking Severin stuff as well. We're going to be like thinking about the different options. I'm going to see if I can get some like shots or maybe tape some footage of the website or something along that line, and we'll work with that. Anyway, it's almost 4:00 in the morning, so guys have a wonderful night, and I'm kind of hyper active, so I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to sleep, but have a fantastic night, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow right here in the Call to Cinema, or as it was called tonight, Call to Comics.